I had a crush on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Any particular one?
I feel like it's really cliche, but Michelangelo. Sorry.
Did you ever go as one of them for Halloween?
I haven't, but that's a good idea.
Were you into Halloween?
I dressed up a lot as a child, but for many years before I was making a living as an actor, I made a living as a face painter. And so at Halloween time, I would be painting hundreds of faces and never thinking about what I was going to be later that night for Halloween. And so I would often just throw face paint on at the last minute and it would be some amalgamation of something. But I do like costumes. The past 3 years, I've been a different type of vegetable. Last year, I was a radish. The year before, I was broccoli. Broccoli's a great vegetable. And then the year before that, I was a carrot. Orange, and then a sprout. The key is to make a produce label and then wear it as a belt. So you just have a label and then people know what you are. And then I could be a tomato and I would be very controversial. Am I a fruit or a vegetable? My name is Britt Lauer. The name of the show we're going to talk about today is Severance. Severance came into my life through a call from my agent. They said, got a great script and there's a great role and it's a long shot. And so I made a self-tape in my bathroom because the lighting was great. And I just immediately fell in love with this character, Helly R. And I remember just my heart was breaking because I kept hearing that, it's a long shot and I'm gonna have to say goodbye to Helly R at the end of this day of making this self-tape. But I thought, at least I get to be Helly R today. And I'm still really grateful that I get to be Helly R.
Do you see other Hellys at Halloween?
I've never seen a Helly in the wild at Halloween, but I've seen the photos of them and I'm so flattered. I think of it as Helly-oween. Did I miss Helly R? Oh, this sounds so mean when I'm gonna say it. Like I just put her on the shelf in between seasons. And I'm like, I'll be back. And then in between season 1 and season 2, I joined a circus for a short stint. It was called Circus Flora in St. Louis. I play a ringmaster of sorts. I play the ukulele a little bit, and I introduce the acts, the tightrope, and the trapeze. I've worn different outfits for different circus performances. The most recent one I was in was called Shoestring Circus, and I wore an homage to Freddie Mercury, a kind of Harlequin-esque outfit. Wow. My character's name was Queen, but that was also her first name. So it's Queen. I am from a farm town in Illinois. I grew up in the middle of a forest, in the middle of a prairie, 20 minutes south of a town called Normal, Illinois, which is a real place, and been a little weird ever since. I have an incredibly wonderful, eccentric mom who kept our pantry full of art supplies, and we would host variety shows in our house at Christmas time. And she just instilled this idea that art is for everybody and that you don't need permission to make art. I was a kid who loved to climb trees first. And then because I grew up in a small town, everyone had to do everything in order to field all of the teams. I was in the marching band, I played the trumpet. I was on the basketball team. One year I was a cheerleader. I was on the golf team briefly on the chess team, and track and field. I did high jump.
Wow. Is there anything you're not good at?
Tennis. I can't do tennis. So why acting? My senior year of high school, I got cast in a local production of Gypsy. I got this lead role and it meant that I had to quit the basketball team. And at the time it felt so devastating. I loved basketball so much. I really thought I might play in college. Then this role at a local community theater where that would be several weeks of a run was offered to me. And it really frightened me in a positive way.
And you also have to do a striptease. I
did. Although I think I was kind of in a full body, spandex nude, underneath the dress, because I was 18 at the time, but this was small town America. So I wasn't doing much more burlesque than you might think. Did I say that in a weird way?
You love it? Where was your first kiss?
In a tree. No. My first kiss, I don't remember where it was, but it was with a magician. I was in something called 4-H. It's for farm kids and art geeks. And I was sort of a blend. I didn't have any animals that I showed, but you could show art projects. And there must have been 25 categories. You could do watercolor and photography and abstract art. And I would submit one in every category. I was just gung-ho about 4-H. So I met this magician at the talent show. I did become his assistant for a while, and I appeared out of a box. He didn't cut me in half. I just appeared out of nowhere.
So how did you appear? Like from the bottom?
I can't tell you that.
Do you think you're more like a dog or a cat?
It's a hard question because I believe I am a dog who on the inside is a cat. And I take lots of naps. Lots.
Have you ever had animals?
I had a fish named Tomato. It was a betta fish. It was very charismatic. I'm serious. I was really sad when Tomato passed away. I trained it to jump out of the water to receive its food. I'm serious.
Do you have any dialogues that you've stolen for your life? Like words to live by?
Oh, I often say, "We're doing it, Peter, we're flying."
From Peter Pan.
I don't know if that's what she actually says in the movie, but it feels like, you know, calling attention to like, look, everyone, we're doing the thing that we wanted to do. Look, Peter, we're doing it. We're flying.